Alright, so I seem to be having some kind of slapping problem on my exhaust. Every time I'm driving, I'll hear like a knocking sound that comes in and out. And I've pretty much chalked it down to my exhaust because I just had it fully finished rather than just an open downpipe. And it just started happening. So we're gonna figure out what that is today. All right, so as you can hear, there's a little bit of a rattling coming from somewhere down there in the exhaust. And I do believe I see the culprit. It looks like I am, hold on a second. It looks like my exhaust is touching my motor mount. I'm gonna see if I can push my exhaust back that way towards the back of the car. Maybe secure it a little further back because damn, that sucks. Got quite a few things I need to do under the car today. I'm going to adjust the caster because I recently pushed it back to see if I prefer that, which I don't. I actually hate it. So I'm going to put the caster forward again, and then I'm going to check out this exhaust and make sure that nothing is damaged down there from hitting a bunch of holes last night. Nope. Go down. Go. Alright, so you can see this car is just way too low for the way that they set this exhaust up. So in those two dips that you can see, it tends to hit whenever I have like any kind of elevation change. Yeah, and if you can see right here, that's where my exhaust is hitting. Not quite sure how I'm gonna fix that. So here's my caster point on the car. I need to move that, if you can see that notch. I need to put this notch all the way on the inside of the car to max my caster. So I'm gonna do that now on both sides. Caster towards the inside of the car here, as well as driver's side also towards the center. So old V-band was kind of banged up after the exhaust was hitting the ground. It was kind of causing it to move around a bit. So this V-band, the nut here, goes all the way down and past these threads. So this V-band's really not good anymore. It needs a new bolt. Fortunately, I had another one. So now we are good. We're clearing the motor mount now by like twice as much as we were before. Got off shift. It's currently 7:30 in the morning. So yeah, I got my alignment pretty much dialed in. Now my self-centering is a lot better. I adjusted my caster and I pushed my wheels forward,
And I also maxed out my camber because I noticed uneven tire wear, and it looked as if my passenger side had a positive camber. So I went ahead and maxed out both of my wheels to a negative camber, and now my car steers and self-centers pretty well. Okay, so I'm gonna take a left turn right here, and you'll notice that the car will self-center. See? It did not do that before. So after working on my alignment a little bit, I've now gotten the car to self-center, which should ultimately help when trying to drift. I'm now at home, and you can see that the temperature hasn't even reached 140 yet. Now the weather outside is probably in the 40s, and it is much colder than Florida usually runs. Uh-oh. Oh God. Right, so like I said, it's pretty cold outside, and my temperatures probably aren't gonna get much higher than 140 right now, even with spirited driving. I don't believe I have a thermostat. I have not checked yet, but it would make sense if the thermostat was removed in this car. Okay, I'm gonna go inside and get ready for the day. I will catch up with you soon. Okay, so I'm going to the gym first thing, and then I'll figure out what else I'm gonna do today. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So a few videos back, I changed the wheels on here and I put my 215s on. Now I've got the 225s, the Kendas on there again, just because I like the extra grip. You know, oftentimes I kind of find myself at a crossroads whether to drive my Miata or the 8.6. And it's funny because this is supposed to be my daily, but I end up driving that Miata more than this car. Like, I bought this car with 50,000 miles on it, and that was over a year ago, and I've only got like 60K on it right now. And mind you, I've driven this car to North Carolina, so that put, you know, like 2,000 miles on it. And I've taken it down to South Florida multiple times. So really, I don't drive this car that much, or as much as I should. And that's kind of a pity because this is such a great car. Like, it's so simple. Everything is analog. Like, even the clock, it has just an hour and a minute button. Everything in this car is so simple and hard to break. It's really a stout car. Sound, but should you need to replace, I don't know, your throwout bearing or, you know, change your clutch, the transmission is really easy to drop. It's not much more difficult than the Miata at all. Most of the bolts for the upper part of the transmission are accessible from the top of the engine. And I know that these boxer motors are somewhat notorious for spun bearings and things like that, but if you change your oil every 3,000 miles and don't beat the car at red line, it's going to last. I've seen these FA20s last for over 300,000 miles on multiple occasions. You just have to take care of what you got. And when I'm sliding this, I keep it around 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs. And as you can see, that's not even anywhere near red line. And the car still slides pretty well in that range. Yeah, in comparison to the Miata, this car handles 100% better. It slides better. It feels much more well-rounded while cornering. In reality, this car is 100% better than that Miata, and I still find myself driving the Miata more. Brother, I just got to the gym and I realized I'm wearing slides. I don't even have shoes with me. They won't even let me in. Well, I guess you win some, you lose some. That's a mission failed. Man, I love that corner. All right, so new plan. I'm going home. I'm gonna run through the differences between my 8.6 and my Miata really quickly. the Miata out to slide to test out my alignment since I just fixed that. Mainly going to be testing to see if that self-centering is working now. So the tires are getting a little bit bald on the Miata, so I'm expecting to face a bit of understeer. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, day's still young. We got a lot to do.
Okay, so given that this is a boxer motor, it has two heads, one on each side, which makes working on it very difficult. For instance, your spark plugs. You kind of have to build the tool inside the motor to even get it in there to get the spark plugs out. Any kind of head gasket work or valve work, anything relating to the heads, the motor pretty much needs to be removed from the car. Whereas the Miata, obviously the head is on top. Your spark plugs, your valves, everything you can do from inside the car. Now for basic fluid changes and stuff, it's kind of a dream. You can't really get better than this. I mean, you got your oil filter up top for, you know, your standard transmission flush and diff flush. That's all like any other car. Everything is pretty accessible on here. Now, like I was saying earlier, the transmission is pretty accessible from the top of the motor. I mean, look, we are literally in the engine bay, and like almost half of the transmission is exposed from the upside. You can also see way back in there. You can almost see the entire transmission. But yeah, these bolts are extremely easy to get to. Your slave cylinders right here on top of the motor, the transmission. Starter, again, top of the transmission. Everything is so easy to access in this car. And that's one of the many reasons that I love it. I mean, you even have a modular engine harness. Like, all you do is disconnect a couple of these wires here, and like your engine is ready to go as far as wiring. Like, the harness comes out with the motor. So the Miata, on the other hand, in its own way, is also very simple to work on. For instance, you have your spark plugs on top like any inline four motor does. Now, boosting this car was probably the easiest thing to do because I have all of this space here for the manifold, the turbo, the drain line, the feed line, intercooler piping. There's like endless space right here in front of the motor. Like, accessing the timing components could not be easier. As far as the transmission though, yeah, good luck. You gotta access everything from under the car, and I did, and it was kind of a headache to deal with, but I ended up getting it. Replaced my rear main seal, and the car is still leaking from the oil pan, so that was kind of no help. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's go slide this thing. Yeah, so I don't know if I forgot to mention it earlier, but I don't think I have a thermostat in this car. I have not yet checked, and I haven't really cared to check because generally the car stays around 140 to 160 while running, and I kind of prefer that as opposed to running hotter. So once I pull the motor out and stuff, I'll go ahead and check the thermostat. Obviously I'm gonna reseal everything so I can get rid of these oil leaks. And I'm gonna do some valve lapping, valve seals, maybe piston rings as well. I just kind of want to get rid of any possibilities of burning or leaking oil. Right, so I'm back home and my temps are solid at 140. While I was out there sliding, I noticed my temps, the highest they got was around 175, which I have a secondary fan set up to kick on at 180 degrees coolant temps. And it did kick on, so the car was able to warm up to around 180 while I was out there. So everything's looking good, no weird sounds. Exhaust is fixed. What I ended up doing was I tied it back. I know I started the video out with that, but yeah, I tied the exhaust back towards the muffler. I pulled it back just ever so slightly, and I changed out this V-band, which was busted. So yeah, I got rid of that knocking sound, and everything seems to be running good. So yeah, now I'm gonna run back to the gym with proper shoes so I can actually get a workout in. And then I'm gonna spend some time with my family today because it's my brother's birthday and we're gonna be going out to lunch. So that being said, I will catch you in the next video.